Alright, so welcome back to the channel, and today's video is a bit more chill than my usual video. In this video I'm going to address probably the most asked question I get on this channel. And while I've made a video about this, I don't think I went in depth enough. So yeah, today I'm basically going to be talking about how I got my first internship and like what I did during my internship, my first internship. And then based on how this video does, I might talk about the internships I've done after that. So getting straight into the story, 2 summers ago, so when 2019, so this would have been 2017 summer. Basically I had nothing to do. I was doing absolutely nothing, like genuinely. And then my auntie, she came to me and she was like, there's this job that I found. If you want to do it, I can set you up, which is basically, I was like a handyman. So it's like, I would help people move their things. So I'd go to like a location in London, carry their things, like dismantle their beds, their tables, their, I don't know, television stands, their fridges. I'd dismantle it, carry all their furniture out of whatever location it is, let's say London for example, put it in a van, and then we'll drive that van to where the person is moving. So basically helping people move houses. So in this specific instance, we moved someone's house from London to France. And so obviously when we got to France, then I had to offload all the things that we took from the original London location and then set it all up, like set up the tables, the beds, the fridges, whatever we dismantled. And then, so this woman who we were doing this job for, bear in mind that I just started this moving job. This was actually the first job of the like job I was doing. This was the first like thing I'd done, was move this person's stuff. And then when we were in France, I don't know, I actually genuinely can't remember how the conversation shifted. Okay, I remember now. So what happened was, I saw a fashion magazine, and the person who I was helping move her stuff, she was in the fashion magazine. So I was like, oh, do you work in fashion or something? Like, how come you're in a fashion magazine and you read fashion magazines and stuff? And she said, oh, I actually own a brand. I'm a fashion designer. And me being really into fashion, I was like, oh really? Tell me more about your brand. I'm like really into fashion. And I think when I said that, she probably didn't take me seriously. She just thought like, you know when kids say they're really into fashion, like they know, like no shade to anyone, but they know like what Gucci is and like Balenciaga and Chanel and like nothing past that. So we started discussing about fashion. It was deep. We had a deep discussion about fashion for like ages. And then she was like, oh, do you know what? I'm actually going for dinner. So if you want to come to dinner with me, then we can continue talking. So that's basically what we did. So we went to dinner in France and she paid for it, and then we were literally just talking about fashion even more. And then by the end of the day, she was saying, you know what, I've been looking for a fashion intern. So basically, if you want to work with us, then you can quit your job. And yeah, you can literally start your internship next week. And I was like, psh, bye. So literally, I had done this like moving job for 1 day. And out of that, I got a fashion internship. It's so random. So yeah, the woman who I've been talking about, her name is Bernice Pan, and she is the creative director of a luxury womenswear brand called Deploy London. Their target audience, or their target demographic, is more like mature corporate people. So people between like late 20s to around like their 50s that are like fashion conscious, care about sustainability, and you know, like multifunctional clothing. So yeah, Deploy London was a sustainable brand. And before I actually worked for Deploy London, I knew nothing about sustainable fashion, like literally nothing. And yeah, when I started working there, They started educating me about like all the sustainable fashion stuff, telling me about people like Stella McCartney who are doing really good things in terms of sustainable fashion. And obviously I might get into it in a different video, but that's kind of why I eventually wanted to intern at Stella McCartney, which I did, but that's a whole separate video. But yeah, I just remember like the first day I went there, I didn't really do much work. It was more like she was just showing me all the stuff and where everything is, where the patterns are, how everything in the brand works, like in terms of how they store their patterns, how to find their patterns, where to find like all the files on the computer, where like all the different show pictures are for each show, like AW15, where can I find it if they need me to do something with those images, for example. And yeah, that was kind of like the first day. And then the second day, it was more like she was trying to see what I was good at, so she could kind of put me in that. And because I'm like good with like graphic design work and stuff like that, so I was doing a lot of work with Photoshop, like designing like banners and like promo flyers and stuff, because with Deploy London it's not on the like London Fashion Week schedule and all that, but they have like some stuff with Condé Nast, and they're always, so I remember the creative director Bernice Pan, she was always between Taiwan, Hong Kong, New York, LA and London, so she has huge customer bases in those 5 places. And it's crazy because my mindset was always that like a brand couldn't be successful without a big social media following, and like Deploy London has no social media presence, and they do quite well financially, like sales wise, like numbers wise, which was also very insightful. So like word of mouth, it like let me understand that word of mouth is more important than I thought it was, and it can actually have a far reach. Yeah, so day 2 was mainly graphic design work. Day 3 was more like pattern stuff. It was more like I had to like learn how to use the patterns, how to find each pattern, because the way we did stuff at Deploy was really old school. Like I know most places now people draw patterns like online, people use software and stuff, but we made physical patterns, which I think for me was good skill wise, like learning about physical patterns the old school way, because when all else fails at least I'll be able to go back to physical patterns. But yeah, so it was mainly just pattern work, stuff like that. And yeah, it was my first internship though, so I didn't really expect to even be doing that much. I just thought I'd be like getting coffee, like, because that's what most people do in their first internships. But I actually did quite a lot of stuff. Eventually I did do like run a bit of their social media, but like not much. So yeah, I did like a lot of pattern work, social media work. Obviously, as interns normally do, I handled a lot of the email stuff, like rearranging emails. A job I did was, so we have, obviously the brand has a lot of clients like any other brand. So I had to rearrange emails in tiers of like who spends the most money, basically. So it's like gold tier for like people that spend a lot of money. Because obviously, if people are spending loads of money on your brand, you want to like make sure that you keep a relationship with those people and actually make sure that you show them that you appreciate the money that they spend on your brand. So we had to compile a list of the names of the people that were spending a lot of money, and you had to rearrange all the contacts and stuff. It's very, very tedious work. But yeah, that's kind of a lot of the stuff I did during my first internship as well. Another thing I did was run errands. So there was one time we were designing the jacket for the Navy officer, the head of the Navy. And one thing I did was I had to go to Savile Row to get these like gold buttons that we needed to use on the jacket. Don't know why I'm having a brain fart, but yeah, so I had to go to Savile Row all the time to get those buttons. I had to go to, basically I was the one getting all our supplies, so I needed to go to our London location, some locations in like Brick Lane and stuff to get zips. There was another place I used to get certain buttons. But yeah, it was cool. It was my first internship. I didn't even expect to be doing all this stuff. So to me, it was really cool. And I was learning, like, if I had a brand, oh, so these are some potential suppliers I could use. This, like, if I want zips, this is where I could go. So I was also downloading information, like when I was being sent on these errands, like, oh, okay, so if you want higher quality buttons, this is how much it's gonna cost. This is where you're gonna get it from. If you're trying to make a cheaper product, this is where you can get zips from, blah, blah, blah. So it was good insight, And I remember one of the days, our receptionist was on holiday. So then I got taught to do like all the reception work and like how everything works, like the phone and where the mail goes and stuff like that. And then there was one of the days I was a receptionist for the day. So yeah, I did everything. I literally did everything on that internship. But yeah, to me it was really fun though. It was fun because it's not a big brand, so there wasn't too much pressure. There was a lot of creative freedom. Obviously I had deadlines, like if I had to rearrange the emails, you have to do it by this certain time. I need this pattern done by this certain time or whatever. But either way, it was fun. Like, we used to talk all the time. I used to talk with the creative director all the time, like pick her brain, ask her questions about what it's like to run a brand, like the industry at large and stuff. And she was really helpful. Like, she would always give me a really good insight, and she would give me like really good information. And the reason why I respect her opinion so highly is, first of all, she has a degree from Cambridge, so she's obviously smart. And she also she did an MA and a PhD on fashion at RCA, that's Royal College of Arts. And she's actually a fashion lecturer as well. So like, if there was anyone that I was gonna learn from, it was her. And she was so helpful. I've even like lectured some students because as she's a fashion lecturer, part of her work was that students from like London College of Fashion and schools like that would come into our design studio and like see how everything works and all the logistics. And sometimes I'd have to like show the students certain things and stuff. So it was really cool. Overall, yeah, that's basically my experience of my first internship. And all the stuff I did, it was kind of, after that first week, I just repeated it. Apart from obviously being a receptionist, which was a one-off, but arranging the email contacts, running errands, doing a hell of a lot of pattern work, a lot of graphic design, like making posters, flyers, and then running the social media type of stuff. And then something I did get to see though, I wasn't like making clothes, obviously, because it's like a luxury brand. They're not going to let some intern that has no like sewing experience start making clothes. But like, I used to work right beside our tailor, and our tailor was also a tailor for like big brands like Balenciaga and Givenchy. So our tailor was like top notch, and like the good thing was I got to see him work every day beside me. So there's some stuff I picked up from the way he works as well. So just the experience to me was amazing. And I feel like my first internship experience was a lot better than most people's experience from what I've seen, from what I've heard. And then also the best part about it was I was paid. It was a paid internship. So imagine I've literally done this job where I'm moving people's furniture between two locations for one day, and just by chance, by luck, I have a fashion industry, and through that fashion industry has taken me like so much further within the industry up until the point I am now. So yeah, I'm definitely grateful for that experience. Also the fact I was paid, because no one gets paid for internships, especially like a first internship when you have like no experience and like no fashion education. So yeah, but basically that is my experience on getting my first internship, and that is how I got my first fashion internship. Because you guys have no idea how much I get asked that question, like literally almost on a daily basis. People are like, oh, I saw this video and you said you had a fashion internship. Can you give more insight onto like the stuff you did? So yeah, that's mainly the stuff I did. Also, I forgot something else. So one of the days we did, I'm not sure how many of you guys are from London, but there's a well-known art gallery called Saatchi Gallery. And one time we were showcasing our clothes. So that was really cool as well. I got to like showcase the clothes at Saatchi Gallery and stuff, and like people asking me questions about the brand. That was pretty cool. But yeah, that's basically it. If you guys want to know about my other internships, then definitely hit the like button, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. You can follow me on Instagram at Fashion Roadman. If you're interested in joining a group chat where people talk about fashion, then there's a Discord chat. The link is in the description below. Also, if you want to support this channel financially, the link is in the description below as well to the Patreon. But yeah, on that note, I'll be back with more videos soon, and yeah, stay tuned for more videos.